Hello, loves, and welcome to the Layla and Nour show.
I did not know that we have a tagline now.
I didn't either.
Look at us, we're on a roll. We're ready. This is the second video we're releasing in like what, a couple days?
Yeah.
Or like,
And you've only been back in Australia 3 days.
what is time? Time doesn't exist. Time is what we make it.
Today we are filming Nour's February wrap-up. Krista and Becca just posted a new post.
On theme. This is on theme.
Because I don't have any of my books out displayed because all my books are packed because we move in. So don't even try to think about doxing us. Like maybe they can see where we live from the background. Also, the car is stationary. We're not moving, which is why we're not wearing our seatbelts. Since I don't have a cute background in my room to film, I kind of don't want to film in there. So I was like, I'll bring Layla out here. And today I read 8 books in February.
That is
How many books did you read in February?
8 more books than I read in February.
Have you kept track of like the shows or anything you can see in February?
You know what's really interesting? Is that I used to be really consistent with keeping track of the shows that I watch. Like, if you open my laptop, I have shows watched in 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. And that's it.
Yeah.
I think becoming a socialist just changes your priorities. Like, but seriously though, I've been wanting to get back into it, but no, I do not know. I don't think I've watched and like binged an entire show in February. Not that I can think of, but it's fine. It's not about me. It's about Nour's wrap-up.
So the first book I read in February is a book that Layla knows.
Actually, sorry, because I saw what it is.
Yeah,
I think I read that book too in February.
it is Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan.
Here.
So this book, Layla, do you want to tell us what this book is about?
Okay. So actually,
back to you, Layla.
I did read this book in February in one sitting. I was like,
Quite a short book.
I was like, because we were watching the live adaptation, the Percy Jackson,
which is so good.
Series, and I just was like, I'm curious about how, like, you know, some of the things that they changed or in the books. And before I knew it, I just sped through the book. Yeah. But basically, this is the second installment in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. It follows Percy Jackson, who is, like, if you don't know, what are you doing with your life? But he's a demigod. He's half human, half god, half of the like Greek gods. And in this book, we follow him year 2 into Camp Half-Blood. He's off into the seas of monsters, to go off and rescue his best friend, Grover. And yeah, it follows all of the, you know, adventures that comes up.
And it very loosely follows the events of the Odyssey.
Yeah.
Which is a story that we do enjoy reading every once in a while, visiting. In the forms of inaccurate musicals. But yeah, I actually only planned on reading the last few chapters because I wanted to read book 3. But yeah, it's quite a short book, and I just ended up reading the whole thing, and I really like it. I like being inside Percy's head.
Yeah.
It's cool being inside the head of a 12-year-old in 2006. So these are my thoughts. The next book I'll read is Make You Mine by Casey Matthews, by my good friend Kyle, Kyle and I were just guests on the Addicted Like Us podcast. I don't know if it'll be up by the time this video is up, but you should keep an eye out for that. This book basically follows Allie, who's the daughter of the hockey team's coach at uni.
Okay.
And Teddy, who is one of the hockey players.
Well, what's her name?
Allie.
And Teddy. Okay.
And they're on summer break finally, and so she's gonna go to the lake house where she spends every summer with mommy and daddy.
Okay.
And Teddy has nowhere to go because he doesn't have like a good relationship with his mom, and he's not allowed to stay on campus. So the coach offers him a home for the summer.
Right.
And I would not say by any means this is like an enemies to lovers. I think that's overused. I just think they dislike each other at the beginning. She's the coach's daughter, so like everybody expects her to be perfect, and you know, he's the star player of the team. So there's a lot on both of their shoulders. The book is a lot more emotionally deep than you might realize based on just like the cover and the The title is inspired by Make You Mine by Madison Beer.
Oh.
Really enjoyed this book. This was an arc. I read the arc, which was very kind. I literally just was like, hey Kyle, can I have the arc? And he said, yes, queen. And I really enjoyed it. And
Would you rank it out
now
of 5, or is that controversial?
I would objectively give it a 4 stars.
Wow.
But with my biased opinion, I'd give it a 5 stars.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's my friend's book, and I'm like very proud of him for all the work he's put into
Good job, Kyle.
I then read Headstrong Like Us by Krista and Becca Ritchie. Why are you shaking your head?
No, go ahead.
Why?
Go on.
No.
Go on. Is this a reread?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I know it's not a new book, so that I would have heard about.
There's some judgment in your face.
I'm not judging.
What are you doing then?
I'm not judging. I'm listening. This is me actively listening.
You're
judging. Do you want to tell us what the Like Us series is about?
This book follows Maximoff.
You want me to try and tell you what Like Us?
Do you want to tell us what the Like Us series is about, Layla?
Okay. Is Like Us about the kids? Okay. Like Us.
Oh shit, I have a cake in the oven. Okay, before I forgot that I had a cake in the oven. Layla was
that smells really nice.
It does. I smelled like vanilla, don't I?
Oh, it's wafting in. It's wafting in? What's the word?
Wafting in?
So the Like Us series follows the second generation. So like the children of the Addicted series main cast, which are, from my understanding, you have the the Hales sisters?
Yeah. Calloway sisters.
Oh, they're Holloway, Hales, Calloway. Okay, it's fine. It follows the children of the Calloway sisters, basically. And the Calloway sisters in this fictional world are like the Kardashians. These like they're like really popular, rich, influencer type people. And then the Like Us series follows each of the sisters' children, and then their lives being nepo babies, basically. And this one in particular,
this follows
Like Us.
Maximoff, who is the kid.
Let me guess.
Halt.
Maximoff, and his love interest is with an F.
And his lover.
Yeah, it starts with an F.
Yeah.
Hold on. Maximoff and okay, anyways, but he is the child of Daisy.
No.
She's got so many. Might as well be.
Daisy's not the one with many kids.
Posey.
It's Rose.
Penny? Oh.
Rose.
Rosie!
Rose! Don't call her Rosie.
I can give her a little nickname.
Okay, well, who is
Lucy.
Maximoff the son of?
Lucy.
Who the fuck is Lucy?
The first one.
They're all flowers.
The one with Lauren Hale.
Yeah, what's her name?
Old flowers?
They're all flowers. Rose, Daisy.
Wait, Rose, Daisy, there is a Penny.
There's a poppy.
A poppy. Something with an L. Lily?
Lily, yeah. So he's Lily and Lo's son, and his lover is...
Pharaoh.
Yes! So,
it.
So this book is the 4th book of the Like Us series, which is Pharaoh and Maximoff's wedding book. So that their
all the Like Us are about Pharaoh and Maximoff.
No.
Oh, that's what I thought.
The first 3 books are Pharaoh and Maximoff, and then we have one Jane book.
They really love their female characters.
Jane, back to Pharaoh and Maximoff. They love the Hales. Maximoff and Pharaoh basically planning their wedding, having their wedding, and all the things that come along with it. Stuff I can't say because of spoilers, but I read this one because I actually annotated it for my friend Farida, and I sent it over to her as a gift for graduating Guinea.
Are they her favorite characters?
Yeah. She's her... Actually, when we met Krista and Becca in person, Becca literally went, Pharaoh's lover! Because that's her username.
Okay.
Which was very cute.
And this is Nacrobalt. So, like,
Stop
let's
it.
get on
Stop.
it. Let's
Don't
get on it.
that.
Let's get Nacrobalt famous 2026.
5 stars, as always. I next read The Marriage Narrative, which is also based in a reality TV. So it's about this woman who's late 20s, early 30s, and she's like, I don't think I want a romantic relationship in my life. However, I would like a companion. So she kind of sets out to find a husband in the business sense. Like, she's looking for somebody who matches all those qualities, literally just to be a companion through life that is like her companion.
Has she heard of the concept of a friend?
Yeah, but like all her friends are married, or all her friends are having kids and stuff. And she's like, if I have a friend, eventually they'll find somebody.
Okay.
This guy comes into her life. I don't remember either of their names.
Really made an impression.
This guy comes into her life, and he's like, I'm also searching essentially for the same thing, because his family are like the Kardashians, but like a lot less famous, I would say, but like quite well known. And his oldest sister is basically the one who runs like the family reality show and stuff. But she is pregnant, and she wants, for the first time in many, many years of her life, to go out of the spotlight. And he has never been on the reality show other than like season 1. And
he's like Rob Kardashian,
basically. And so he asks her if she can be his like wife, essentially the same thing, and go on this newest season of the show to kind of distract people from his sister.
This is like farmer wants a wife, but instead of farmer, it's influencer wants a wife.
And like obviously his mom and his sisters, other than his oldest sister, are like, this is weird because they are faking being actually married to his family.
I just feel like it's fine if they just like...
Yeah, I feel like they could have just told them, honestly.
You just been like, oh, she's just not in the season.
No, but then, you know, people are weird. Fans are weird. They would like go stake out of her house and like try to get photos of her and stuff.
Okay.
Like paparazzi did that to Blake Lively when they heard that she might be pregnant. They literally camped outside her house for weeks.
That's scary.
To get a photo of her pregnant. And so yeah, this book was a good book. Like while reading it, I actively enjoyed it. I haven't thought of it since. They did end up forming an actual romantic relationship.
They formed an attachment.
They formed an attachment. They courted each other.
Right.
And by the end of the book, their marriage was for truth. It was built on truth.
The marriage was for truth?
Yes. For realsies.
The marriage was for realsies.
And then guys, guess what I read? What's your name? Who did this to you? Sorry, I was like trying to remember the line. Who did this
Gwen
to you? Chanel? What happened to your eyes?
My eyes, I was just yawning.
So sleepy?
Guys, this is my default baseline. That's fine. But I was trying to remember the line.
Who did this to you?
Nobody.
In this version, it's actually no man.
Oh, well there you go.
I finally finished The Odyssey by Homer. I've been saying for the past 2 wrap-ups that I will finish The Odyssey.
Hey, that's so great.
I started reading it in November.
And it is now?
I finished it in February. Do you have any confidential notifications on there?
No.
Well, I mean, it's Chinese, if you can read Chinese. Wait, there's here. Wait.
May I have a mic?
Yes. Hello, my name is Elisa Sif, and I play... Give me a character.
Odysseus.
And I play Odysseus in the Odyssey.
In our lives.
What are we doing? Oh my god, the Odyssey!
I'm telling Layla about my February reading.
Silence.
You may leave. Okay,
just go back to the back.
Cancel her. Hashtag Twitter, trend that.
Anyways, I read The Odyssey, loved it. 4 stars. The reason why it's not getting its 5th star is because of the misogyny.
Which one?
The Odyssey.
Oh.
Agamemnon goes on this rant for like 3 pages about how all women should not be trusted. Next I read Is This a Cry for Help by Emily Austen, and I'm afraid I was mostly disappointed with this one, which is not something that has happened with Emily Austen before. This book follows our main character, who is a librarian, and I don't know if I can explain this on YouTube. It's about a librarian. And people kind of protest that. I've told you about this book, yeah. And people protest that, and she essentially can't do anything against it because to ban that patron from coming to the library would be banning freedom of speech. And it starts with banning sexually explicit content, and then it snowballs into banning everything else. And so people are actively like protesting outside the library, trying to get things banned. And then we're seeing the everyday moments of the main character's life, like just at home. We see her dealing with grief because her ex-boyfriend of many years before she realized she was a lesbian has recently passed away, and so she went on break for her mental health, and now she's coming back and she's dealing with that grief and with what it means that she, like, you know, kind of that guilt of like, I wasted so many years of his life because I was figuring it out. But Layla says she has many thoughts on this because Layla and I have talked about it in depth before. Do you want to share your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are that, like, I get what this book is trying to do, like what the message is about, like, freedom of speech, and like it is obviously meant to be like a thought-provoking book and like get you to like ask the questions of like, where do we draw the line? You know, if we start off by banning this, you know, obviously any law that prohibits any form of sort of like speech will only then be used against the left, you know. Like, oh, like if you're able to ban something with the law, then it will only be used against people that are trying to say stuff like free Palestine, like, you know, like the government in Queensland right now. But my problem is that you're taking this really important topic and like, but the thing that you're kind of sort of advocating for is the right to watch porn. And it's like, it's not like they were caught, like, for example, it's not like when they try to cancel drag story time in our own, like, you know, public libraries, and how that kind of...
That is mentioned in the book as well.
But, like, sure, but, like, stuff about porn. And then that's the thing with liberal, sort of like the liberal left, is this idea that it's like, oh, you know, like people should be able to do whatever they want, and it's on the basis of like democracy and freedom and whatnot. But like, I don't give a shit. You shouldn't be watching porn. Like,
why? Because the porn industry abuses and oppresses people.
I mean, apparently 30% of Google searches are porn, and 25% of all internet downloads are porn. So it's an epidemic. It's an extremely hurtful industry. You know, and like the 5 viewers that are watching might come into our comments and be like, but like sexual choice and sexual freedom and whatnot. Yeah,
that's all rooted in oppression. I firmly believe that nobody would be in sex work if they didn't have to. Like, if there weren't so much money in it, nobody would be doing it.
The point is that the majority of the sex industry is run... Oh my god, that is a big cockroach.
That's a really big cockroach. It just dropped to its death.
The point is like, I'm all for freedom of speech and I'm all for blah 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 blah, but I don't know, I just feel like it was a bit of a more of like a liberal woke thing to start with porn and then try and make your point, because like, really, of all the things that are being banned, of all the books that are being banned for having like queer characters, for having trans characters, for having, you know, political commentary, the thing that you want to defend is porn. Like, fuck porn, you know what I mean? Like, that stuff in the bin. I'm like, ooh, we're keeping this child friendly, but like, we can't get monetized off of it anyway, so might as well.
Unless you want to monetize us.
Sponsor us.
A book that does do political takes really well is The Poet Empress by Chantal. I've already talked about this book in depth to Layla. I've talked about it to anyone who has the ears to listen. And I do think you should read it without knowing anything about it. Maybe the trigger warnings.
Look at the cover. Does that not make you want to read it?
I had to go to Big W immediately and buy it.
Because just like, look at it.
Because look at it.
No, like, look at it.
Look at it. And
it's beautiful.
Okay, wait. Look at the Owl Cry edition now. Gorgeous. So this book follows Wei Yin. I remember her name.
Made an impression.
Who's the daughter of a rice farmer in this village that takes place in like ancient mythical China. And so they exist in this world where there's litromancy, so people can kind of bring magic to life through the written word. And then there's the royal family, which kind of I'm really bad at explaining lore, but just read it. But they have access to magic. And so each person's kind of bestowed by the dragon with a skill or a talent or an ability. And so the current prince on the throne has the Dao sigil, which is blades. So he can control blades, control knives, swords, all that. And so he's incredibly powerful. He's kind of a dictator. And Wei Yin, in an attempt to save her family who's dying from the famine, like many people in this land, enters a kind of competition to become one of his concubines. She passes and she does become one of his concubines, and he chooses her to become his empress, and he is to marry her. And she gets caught in the politics of the inner court with all the other women and the current empress. She gets caught up with brotherly feuds and the brothers that want to be on the throne. She has to learn so much about the history and the ancestry of the royal family to decide whether to bring it down or not, because she finds out that there is a love poem that might be the only thing that can bring down the dictator of a prince. Throughout the book, we see her grow so much in the span of 2 years and come to that moment where she has to make that decision. And the book is good, and I think it's another one of these cases, which is something I've said about This Woven Kingdom, which I need to tell you about one day. Like, if the writing doesn't hook you in, the characters will. If the characters don't get you, the plot will. And if the plot doesn't get you, the cover of the book.
I mean, just look at it.
Judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Zoe.
Zoe.
The final book I read is Arusha and the End of Time, and it's by Roshni Chokshi, which is interesting because there's a book that's come out recently called The Swan's Daughter, or The Swan Daughter, and I really wanted to read it, and it's by Roshni Chokshi, and apparently she's the author of The Gilded Wolves, I think is what it's called. And I tried to read that book many years ago, and it was just like too big brains for me. But this one's not, because it's middle grade. So they can see your beautiful face. Sing, my angel. Final book is Arusha, and it follows Arusha, who's an Indian American girl, and her mom like runs the Museum of Indian Artifacts, and she kind of lies her way through life every day.
She's just like me.
She wants to seem cool to her friends, and she goes to like a private school, so all her friends are like in Paris one day, London the next. So she lies little things, like she says, oh, I bought this jacket from Target in London.
Just like me. Okay. The private school chronicles.
Yeah. And then one day 3 of her classmates show up to the museum as her mom's about to leave again, because her mom goes on a lot of trips to get artifacts and stuff. And those 3 kids come up with like a phone to record her, to catch her in a lie. And she's like, I don't lie things, I have a cursed lamp. And they're like, yeah, prove it. And so, peer pressure, she lights the cursed lamp, and then suddenly those 3 get frozen. And out of this cursed lamp comes out a parrot.
A parrot?
Or a bird. Or a pigeon.
Okay.
I believe he's a pigeon. And he is the reincarnated soul of one of the like powerful spiritual guides.
Oh.
Because she is the reincarnation of the, I cannot remember their name, terribly sorry, of the like Padmavati brothers. So back in the day, there was 5 brothers and their spiritual guide, and they ended up putting the big bad guy, who his goal is to end time, in jail. And it's been many millennia, and now Aru is his descendant. But then she meets Minnie, who is her soul sister, so also a descendant of one of the brothers. And it's so cool because they're sisters now, even though in every lifetime they've been brothers. And it's the first time in many years that it's girls. So they have to go find out who their like spiritual god parent is.
3 other siblings though.
Yeah, but they're not in this book.
Is that a
think it's a series, but like interconnected books. Actually, I think you can read book 1 on its own, but I don't think you can read the rest of the books on their own. And so yeah, it follows Aru, Minnie, and the pigeon as they try to escape the big bad evil Lord of Time. It was a really fun book, and I had a blast taking it with me to uni and reading in the back on my phone when I was meant to be focusing. But it was a very cute book to start Ramadan off with.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of the books on my physical TBR. So we're now
Physical TBR?
so like books on my shelves I haven't read.
Oh, like you own the physical copy
Yeah.
of it. Yes.
So we're 1 book down.
So Nour, this was the
Yes,
8
Layla?
books that you read.
So Nour?
So Nour, these were the 8 books you read in February. How many books have you read so far in March?
I've just finished my 4th book, and then 2 short stories.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Which is not bad. I know objectively, like, reading is not a competition. I don't view reading as a competition. As somebody who truly
We are not a
loves
team. This is a
and enjoys reading every day. Going like 2 weeks without reading was like a punch to the heart. But I've read pretty good books so far in March, and I can't wait to share them with you in the new house, in my room. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Do you wanna sign us off?
Oh my god, I don't want to.
Oh. Hate crime.
You're just watching the fall of the Layla Nour show.
This is it.
This is it.
Bye, Lulu. Thank you for watching this.
Lulu, this is for you.
This is for you. I love you.